Hello and welcome to Cyberman Son, episode 16. We're here at the Cyber Control Center. I'm Steven.
And I'm Andrew.
Holy cow, so 10th Doctor, over, done with. We're on our way to the 11th and we actually skip a year. Now, okay, so we did see the Cybermen a little bit, but they were always just like kind of walk-on roles, or, you know, they're standing there just like, we're bad guys, and then like you'd only see them for like a minute or something. But so it's been a while since we've gotten a Cyberman story, but now we finally got a Cyberman story. And so, do you remember there was an episode called The Lodger, where the Doctor becomes roommates with this guy in his house, and the second story, the top floor of the house, was actually a spaceship that was basically like sucking people up and stuff. Do you remember that episode?
I don't think I watched that.
Maybe or maybe not. So, this guy Craig was played by, or Clive. No, not Clive Owen. Craig Owen. He's played by James Corgan, who is he's a famous comedian, late night show comedian. And now we're actually going to the second time we run into him, and now he's got himself a little baby, and the Doctor's catching up with him, but the Doctor's also catching up with his old buddies, the Cybermen. What story are we doing?
We are doing closing time.
Closing time. Okay, so this one we definitely need to rewatch, because I'm not exactly sure how this fits in. I mean, I will by the end of it, but I'm not sure how this fits in with the rest of our cyber history. So, shall we go and watch it?
Yes.
Let's do this.
So there's a gentleman's bathroom underground.
Public watcher, maybe? I don't know.
Thank you.
Better cash up then. And I've labelled the food and sort of numbered it.
Sophie, you don't need to number food.
It's just a suggestion. Also, my mum might phone.
Might?
And your mum and my dad and, just some people.
I can cope on my own. Now please go and have a rest. You need it. I love you.
This sort of thing has always bugged me, where it's just like,
And I do know you can cope on your own.
everybody worries that the dad can't take care of the baby sort of thing. It's like, he's a parent too. It's like, nobody bats an eye if the mom is left home, but if the dad's left home, uh-oh. Sorry, that always bugs me. It's a very, very common thing you see in TVs and movies. It's like, oh, dad's being left alone with the kid.
My
Oh
stereotype.
no. It is. It's actually really kind of a mean one too.
2 minutes, okay?
I'm coping on my own. I'm coping on my own.
Hello, Craig. I'm back.
I've came to help you.
She did. How could she phone you?
How can who phone me? Nobody phoned me. I'm just here.
Oh, you've redecorated.
I don't like it.
It's a different house. We moved.
Yes, that's it.
Just.
Everyone, get off this. You've broken him.
Hello? You alright?
Instead of scream, run.
I've always had a soft spot for this starting sequence. I like this one a lot. I actually like both the 11th Doctor sequences.
I wonder what the 13th Doctor sequence will be.
So when you say on your own,
Yes, I mean on my own with the baby, yes. Because no one thinks I can cope on my own, which is so unfair, because I can't cope on my own with him. I can't, he just cries all the time. I mean, do they have off switches?
human beings, no, believe me, I can check.
No, babies.
Same difference. Sometimes this works, though.
What?
Can you teach me to do that?
Probably not.
Oh, please, come on, I need something.
Remember, the Doctor is a bit telepathic.
Being a dad, you read all the books and they tell you you'll know what to do if you follow your instincts. I have no instinct.
Just go. Stop noticing. Just go. Stop noticing. Just go. Stop noticing. Just go. Stop it. Am I noticing? No. No, I am not. And what I'm not doing is scanning around for electrical fluctuations. Oh, shut up, you. I'm just dropping in on a friend. The last thing I need right now is a patina of teleport energy. I'm going. Do you hear me? Going. Not staying, going. I am through saving you. I'm going away now. It goes up, tiddly up, it goes down, tiddly down, ready for 9.99, which I personally think is a bit steep.
No, that's just the council putting in new cables, isn't it?
Oh, yes, that's it. Mystery solved, wasting my time. Now, you can go home and I can go to Exeter.
We fixed an elevator.
It says it's out of order.
Not anymore. See? Here to help.
Oh, it says danger.
Oh, rubbish, lifts aren't dangerous.
Teleporting a shop, that's ridiculous. What was that? Was that the lights again? Yes, that's it, that's all, it's the lights. Why did you say that like that?
No.
What?
Like what?
Like that, in that high-pitched voice?
Just keep looking at me, Craig. Right at me, just keep looking.
Why?
Well, because I love you.
You love me.
Yes, Craig, it's you. It's always been you.
Me?
Is that so surprising?
Not true, you're gonna kiss me.
Yes, Craig, yes, I am. Would you like that? A bit out of practice, but I've had some wonderful feedback.
Doctor, no, I can't, I'm taken. Oh my God!
We could just hold hands if it would make you feel more comfortable.
What is happening?
So first of all, I don't really love you except as a friend.
What is that?
Quick reverse.
Okay, what the hell just happened?
You and your partner and the baby.
Partner, yes, I like it. Is it better than companion?
Companion. Sounds old-fashioned. There's no need to be coy these days.
Not noticed anything unusual around here lately, Val.
Well,
Yes.
Mary
She thinks that the Doctor and Craig are gay. So that's why she's calling them partners. The Doctor thinks she's talking about like being partners, you know.
On his so-called day off golfing.
Yeah. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea after all.
And then there's that silver rat thing.
Silver rat?
There you go.
So by this point, Amy's a famous model. I can't remember why exactly. Yeah, there you go. I can't remember why exactly, but the Doctor's trying to stay out of their lives. So he's coming close. Yikes. He's coming close to the end, what he thinks is going to be the end of his life, when the impossible astronaut kills him.
It's okay. It's very hot.
A net?
Must be on low power. Or I'm better at that than I remember.
Oh, is that it? Yeah. Oh, it's quite cute.
Makes sense. Remember, they bite, right?
Why do they have real teeth?
I guess because they're cybernetic. So they're like cyborgs.
Oh, so they're like some sort of rodent?
Yeah, I guess.
Stop screaming!
Yes. I know. You could walk among the stars. They don't actually look like that, you know. They are rather more impressive. Yeah. You know, when I was little,
Why did a screwdriver do that? That's weird.
I think it's fair to say.
That's why
that
sometimes the
I
screwdriver is like a magic wand. It
But I
just
knew
kind of
I
does what
could.
you want it to do.
I owned the stage. Gave it 110%. No, you don't.
Why don't you like smash it with a hammer?
It's not on hammer.
I'm back!
open the door.
I must be shielded from electrostatic edge, of course. Don't worry, I have an app for that. Stand back. Stand back. Success. That was amazing.
Andrew, can you clear out the dishwasher, please? Hey, Andrew, your laundry really needs to be, like, put away. Andrew, there are toys all over the... Hey, Andrew, we need to go shopping, and I need help. Hey, Andrew, did you see where I put those light bulbs? Andrew, you've been using the TV way too... Hey, Andrew, the Cybermen are attacking... Andrew, we gotta evacuate. We gotta get out of...
A door. A Decillion bonded steel door disguised as a wall. That's cheating.
Why have a teleport when you can have just a door?
It didn't teleport down. It climbed up.
I wonder how the Cyberman climbed through that. This has been hard.
Yeah.
You have come to us.
Took me a while. Not on my mind. Let's see. This ship crashed here centuries ago. No survivors, but the system's dormant, waiting for power. And then the council stick a load of new cables right on top of you. Viking wakes up and channels the power. You start crewing up from the shop as best you can. Not enough power. Not enough parts.
When we are ready, we will emerge. We will convert this planet to cyberform.
Well, 6 of you.
You know that is enough. You know us. You are the Doctor.
Correct. And the doctor always gives you a choice. Deactivate yourself, or I deactivate you.
I believe you can do it.
Located us.
Yeah, teleport in the lift. Bit rubbish. No little Cyberman never stood a chance. You see what you're dealing with?
You are compatible. You are intelligent.
No! I'm not intelligent. You don't want me.
Do not fear. We will take your fear from you. You will be like us. You will be more than us.
No.
Your designation is cyber controller. You will lead us. We will conquer this world.
Do something, please.
I'm going to die, Craig. Tomorrow I'm going to die, but I don't mind because that proved me right. Craig!
Begin full conversion.
Alfie, I'm so sorry.
Alfie, please stop. I can't help it.
Emotions eradicated. Conversion complete. Alert. Emotional subsystems rebooting. This is impossible.
You can hear him. You can hear Alfie. Oh, please, just give me this. Craig, you wanted a chance to prove you're a dad. You are never going to get a better one than this.
What is happening?
What's happening, you metal moron? A baby is crying, and you better watch out, because guess what? Daddy's coming home!
I hear people can lift cars carrying the car.
You've triggered a feedback loop into their emotional inhibitors. All that stuff they cut out of themselves, now they're feeling it. The building should be totally safe structurally, and of course the bonded dysilium contains the explosion.
Right. Why are you telling me all
I
this?
don't know.
It suits you.
Thanks.
Discount applies to partners.
Great.
Are you two married then?
No, we talked about it, but it's just a piece of paper, isn't it?
Thank you for your help, Val. Good notes, you keep it peeled.
I will.
See? I do come back.
How did you...
Time machine. Yeah, even with time travel, getting glazes on a Sunday. Tricky.
You went back in time. That means you used up your hours. What about Exodus?
What about you being in trouble with Sophie when she comes back? I couldn't let that happen.
You used up your time for me.
Of course I did, you're my mate. I noticed Stormageddon's very quiet and happy.
Bye. Doctor, that'll be Sophie, right?
Why would Sophie be knocking on her own door? I don't knock on the door when I come in here.
I missed you.
Why?
She lives there. Why is she knocking on the door?
Why
Are you wearing a papoose?
Yeah.
Well then, old girl. One last trip, eh? Hey, I'm the doctor. I was here to help. And you are very, very welcome.
It was funny. He seemed so happy, but so sad at the same time.
I was just a kid. I thought maybe he was a cowboy on his way to a gunfight.
I really liked his hat.
Goes the clock, and all the years they fly. Tick tock, and all too soon, your love will surely die.
Next time.
I'd like to know why I have to die. Silence will fall when the question is asked. All the times I've heard those words, I never realized it was my silence. My death. It's time.
Okay. So that was closing time. Okay, Andrew, what did you think of closing time?
Good.
Good. When the doctor went into Craig's place, the first thing he said was,
"I've redecorated. I don't like it."
the doctor says that a lot.
Oh, I can see you've been doing the TARDIS up a bit. I don't like it.
You've had this place redecorated, haven't you? Don't like it.
Oh, you've redecorated.
I don't like it.
The doctor is kind of a judgmental person, but that's just his thing. Craig doesn't know who the Cybermen are. Why doesn't Craig know who the Cybermen are? Why doesn't he know about them? It was only 4 years previously that the Cybermen, the whole Battle of Canary Wharf, Doomsday. So it's been only 4 years. Yeah, we'll cover that in the timeline. But also, the invasion happened in the 7th. Okay, well, I guess Craig's too young for that. Okay, but didn't anyone write that down in history books? You know, basically, the world's been overrun by Cybermen at least twice.
What about Silver Nemesis? Or Army?
Army of Ghosts. Yeah, for sure, Army of Ghosts Doomsday. Silver Nemesis, he might not even remember Silver Nemesis, but there weren't that many Cybermen in Silver Nemesis. There was just a handful, right? So, or also, remember, if you remember The Lodger, you'll have to rewatch it. The doctor bonked his head on Craig's head to telepathically tell him who he was and what was going on.
Gonna regret this. Okay, right, first, general background.
You've got a target!
Yes, shh. 11th. Right, okay. Specific detail.
So, did Craig not learn anything about the Cybermen from the doctor's telepathic head bump? I guess not. Again, we need somebody to explain something about the Cybermen. Speaking of telepathy, I thought it was funny at first, but as the episode went on and on and on, and the doctor, speaking baby and talking to Stormageddon and all this stuff, how did you feel about that?
That was interesting.
It was interesting? Okay. What made it interesting that he can talk to the baby, and he keeps talking to the baby through the episode? Because I'm going to be honest, I found it kind of annoying after a little while. I thought it was just kind of a way of dumping exposition and trying to make cutesy little jokes. But that's just my opinion. We finally see Cybermats again. It's been a long time. We saw Cyber Shades last time. But Cybermats, like we were talking about, how long's it been since Revenge of the Cybermen, right? Mm-hmm. Which was the 4th Doctor. So, I mean, the Cybermats, who we'd seen quite a bit up until Revenge, and then we haven't seen it all. Now, finally, we've got it back. And now they actually kind of look intimidating. They got the crazy taser teeth. Taser teeth jump and they go for the neck again, right? It's said again explicitly that they can't convert Time Lords. Maybe they can use, like, an arm or something, but they cannot convert Time Lords. They can only convert other humans. Okay. Where are their guns? Again?
Where are their weapons?
Yeah, I mean, we saw him kind of, like, do, like, an electric surge to knock away the laser tag reader. But we didn't really see any weapons. Weird. That's kind of a weird thing for me. Where's the, like, no guns. We didn't even see the shock hands or anything like that, really. But yeah, they're still grabbing and killing people somehow. So I guess they wanted to tone down the violence, I guess, and just make it scary, I guess. Okay. Now I need your honest opinion about this. How did you feel about the ending? That they're starting to convert Craig into this is a cyber leader or cyber controller, whatever. And then it's hearing the baby cry, and it's the power of love. And Craig, he's so filled with love and devotion that he breaks the cyber programming, and all the Cybermen, their heads all explode because of his love, and then the whole Cyberman ship explodes because of his love towards Alfie. What do you think of that?
It's scientifically possible.
It's scientifically possible? You think so?
I don't think so. It's a fact.
Tell me more. How's it a fact?
Have you ever heard where parents lifted cars off of their children?
Yeah, through adrenaline. Sure. But does that cause the car's engine to explode?
No, but the Cybermen really don't like emotions.
Okay. Okay. That's fair. Andrew's a firm believer in the power of familial love. I thought it was kind of tacky myself, but fair enough. Agree to disagree. Cool beans. Remember I said at the beginning of this episode, I said, I don't know where this fits in with our timeline, but I'll know after we watch it. I still don't know how this makes sense. Okay, so we know that the date for this story is April 20th and 21st, 2011. So the 24 to 48 hours before the Doctor's killed. Or killed, as we know. He doesn't actually. The Doctor fakes his death using a giant robot. Or not a giant robot, but like a shrink. It's a robot man. Anyways, he fakes his death. But he doesn't know that during this story. So we know this. April 20th to 21st, okay? 2011. We got that. So where do these Cybermen come from? Their ship crashed centuries ago, said the Doctor. Their ship crashed centuries ago. Okay. So how many centuries and from where?
We only know as far back as 1851. Well, 16
something for Silver Nemesis, but the Cybermen weren't there. That was just where Lady Painford came from. I'm sitting there and I'm watching this and I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to be like, okay, why do they look like the Cybermen? But they were missing, most of them were missing their center chest pieces. So were they the Cybermen? They look like them. In fact, the Doctor Who wiki page, tardis.wikia.com, it says these are the Cybermen as well. I don't know what they're basing that off of, though. It's just the design, I think. So here's the only thing that makes sense to me. Okay, I'm thinking that they're a cyber force from the Mondasian Cybermen, from Telos or something, from way back in the past. And they were a ship, and then they crashed on Earth way back in the past, like sometime before 1851. But when? I don't know. But it'd still have to be quite a ways before. Then they crashed. They were all knocked offline. They were all dormant. Kind of like.
What if it was like 70? What if it was like 1722?
Sure, right? Who knows, right? Something like Transformers. Remember the Transformers? They crashed into Earth, and then were dormant for 4 million years. So they've crashed there. They're dormant, and then the town council, they start laying in new electrical pipes, and these charge up the Cybermen a bit. But as we saw, the Cybermen are actually in really rough shape. So the only thing that makes sense to me is that with the next Doctor in 1851, I'm thinking that there were probably some Cybermen parts left around. Because, like, not all the Cybermen were on board the Cyber King when it got zapped into the void. There were some Cybermen that had been taken out, that had exploded, and were just kind of left there, right? I'm thinking, then, that the Cybermen, these Mondasian Cybermen, came across the remains of those Cybermen and took their parts. Because, remember, they needed parts. Took the parts and so kind of upgraded themselves, and as such they look more like those Cybermen. Now remember, those Cybermen didn't have guns, so that would kind of explain why they didn't have those guns, I guess. But I mean, the Mondasian Cybermen have guns, lots of different kinds of guns, so I mean that doesn't explain why they have no weapons. Maybe they have no way of charging the weapons, I guess. But they got to teleport, so whatever. So that's the only thing that makes sense to me. The only thing that makes sense to me is that these were Mondasian Cybermen, and then from the next Doctor, they found a bunch of old Cybermen corpses underneath London, and then took the parts and upgraded themselves. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Please, somebody else, explain to me, if the ship crashed centuries ago, where these guys came from, because I don't know. They did not use the vaults from the Daleks, the temporal vault. They didn't use it because the Cybermen in the next Doctor had it, and they had decharged it. Okay, so that's where we are with those. So this takes place both halfway through our timeline then and at the beginning. So then we know Planet 14 is sometime before 1970. The invasion is in the early 1970s or 69. Attack of the Cybermen on Earth is 1985. 10th Planet is 1986. Silver Nemesis 1988. Army of Darkness, yeah, right. Army of Ghosts Doomsday is 2007. Probably early to mid 2007 because Cyberwoman is then late 2007. And as I said, now this story is late April 2011. Then the moon base is around 2070. Wheel in Space is somewhere between 2071 and 2119. Earthshock at the beginning of the Orion Cyber Wars is 2526. Tomb of the Cybermen is 2570. Revenge of the Cybermen is 2875. Attack of the Cybermen on Telos is somewhere around the 30th century. And Real Time is 3286. Wowzers! Okay, whew. So Andrew, let's put our thinking cyber caps on. And what are we gonna rate closing time? So what are we rating it?
4.3.
4.3. Andrew and I, we had a disagreement over this one. He likes it way more than I do, so we decided to meet halfway, and we're gonna rate closing time at 4.3 Cybermats out of 5.
0.7.
If only because, in fairness, the 11th Doctor and Craig, I think they're a great combo, and the story moves pretty well, and the Cybermats are cool. So next time, we're staying with the 11th Doctor, but we're just jumping forward 1 year. Do you know the, what episode are we tackling next time, Andrew?
Nightmare in Silver.
Nightmare in Silver. Now, this was a big deal, because this one was just like The Doctor's Wife. This one was written by Neil Gaiman. And Neil Gaiman, he's got really interesting and cool story ideas, like really, really cool ones. This one I didn't like. This one upcoming I didn't like as much as The Doctor's Wife, but there's some really interesting stuff that goes on in there. So I mean, can't wait to see how that one stacks up.
Like and subscribe. Comment how many Cybermats you would give it. Put it above 4.5, please. And don't unsubscribe, please. And if you do, don't unsubscribe, please.
See you next time. Closing time. One last call for alcohol, so finish your whiskey and beer. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.